Hey all, Sir Penguin here, and welcome back to Chile's Grand Gorge-Off. This is going to be the finals, so if you haven't watched the first two videos, close your eyes and don't look at who's playing, and go watch those games first. This is, as I said, Chile's Grand Gorge-Off. If you're interested in seeing the main event, the live recordings by Chile were done on YouTube, so there's a link in the description of this video to Chile's YouTube, so you can go see the games there. That being said, I asked very politely if I could come cast this game, and he was so super happy to oblige, so I got to cast the series and the tournament. So much fun. So thank you, Chile. I want to give you a proper thanks and a shout out for that, and I appreciate you all being here as we dive into a best of three. Game one of this best of three is going to be very interesting. And again, these are all being played on Gorge. It's the Grand Gorge-Off, and Gorge is such a great team map. I don't know what's up with this sacred site spawn. I mean, the Mongols started a little farther back here, but it's still really close to Team Devils here. Right next to the tree line. Just wall that off and take the middle sacred site. We'll see what happens. Because starting for Team Devils on the left side of the map, in the first part of their line in space one, we've got Housed Horse playing as the Mongols. Behind him in the red as Jeanne d'Arc, who's picking away at the gold over here, is going to be Jigglypuff 62. In space 3 for Team Devils, on yellow, playing as England, is going to be Zardas. And last but not least for Team Devils, rounding it all out, once again Abbasid in the back. I say once again Abbasid because they played against someone who had Abbasid in the back. Let me clarify. But Abbasid in the back is going to be Mambos, playing purple. May have said that twice. Pardon. And on the other side, Team TBD, playing in the green as England, is going to be Stay Frosty, who is going to continue the longbow action for us. Very exciting. Behind Stay Frosty in the blue, playing as the Roos, with a Team Devils tag in the name, is going to be Erican. And behind Erican, with all these scouts coming out of the wheelbarrow and scouts and all that good stuff for the hunting. In the teal, playing as the Holy Roman Empire this time, was Japan in the last game, is going to be Risky in the third spot of this matchup. So going to be able to be kind of greedy with the HRE while participating with a strong castle force, I should think. Lots of knights or men-at-arms, but I think with this comp, it's going to be knights to support the Roos knights. Unless, in the back, on the orange, Corvinus goes into the sofa. So we're seeing what happens here. Corvinus going up with the Manzikori. Gonna get nice resource boon in the back here and get it started up. In game 2 of this tournament, in the best of 1 that Team TBD played against Phantom Menace, Corvinus was actually feeding his teammates the deer with a professional scouts play. So I'm curious to see if we see that again in this match, because those warrior scouts can be really useful on a map like this where food is hard to secure. There's berries way out on the sides for berry factions. So berry faction's not really going to be the best option. I mean, we have Abbasid, but Abbasid can farm boom if they're in the back. So we'll probably see more farms than like berries for them. The hard thing is going to be securing hunts. And that's why these Mali players in this tournament so far have been opting for professional scouts. Now, this game around, this is the first game we don't have Mali on both sides, I believe. So Corvin is the only one on Mali here. Going to be interesting to see. We have England on both sides, though, and much less of a mirror otherwise, because we've got Jeanne d'Arc, Roos, Mali, HRE, and Mongols. So lots of different factions coming out here. I'm excited to see how this gets played. Got deer stones out for our Mongol player. School of Cavalry. Again, nothing too surprising going on here. Council Hall in the base of Zardas. And well, okay, this is a little interesting. Mombos, instead of a economy wing, has opted for the culture wing. Is this a fast castle play out of Mombos? We do have the TC coming out, so maybe not, but definitely a tech play. Very curious, yeah. Wheelbarrow only coming out now because he's waited for oh my gosh, what's it called? Preservation of Knowledge tech from the House of Wisdom. Here comes the Keshik Knight combo that Devils was so fond of in Game 1 against Team Cord. All right. We got some action here. Just, you know, a Roos scout getting under pressure. We have a ping from a teammate. Look, look, look. And Stay Frosty hasn't noticed as the Keshiks take a Vil out. You fire on this with your English Vils. Knight's looking for some Vils. And Erican's Vil is going to be caught out by some of Jigglypuff's Knights. 1, 2. Not a third, as the Kremlin's going to push them back. A couple of Vils going down for your Team TBD here. That's going to be frustrating, kind of letting them get away with that. And yes, here it comes. Corvinus dropping off food. Is this going to be for the Roos player specifically, or are they running all the way to the front to Stay Frosty? Looking like... Nope. Yeah, gonna drop off at Erican's base, or maybe they just needed a safe place to rendezvous. Lots of scouting, lots of callouts probably coming out from between these teams, like, hey, there's Knights on your left side. Hey, there's Knights coming over here. A couple of Palings out for the Longbows. We're gonna probably see a lot of Palings in this matchup because I think we're gonna see a lot of cavalry in this matchup. Camel is probably going to be a good bet for our Abbasid player on Team Devils. Aha! Here come those Vils. Actually, Corbin is dropping off the hunts for himself. And, okay, yeah. Now also dropping off deer for Erican Blue. Knights hitting that loose scout as Erican scouts come out to try to start countering these raids. And we've got some Keshik raids on the gold of Corvinus here. Corvinus going to counter with some Danzos. Going to lose a villager and take some health damage on the others. So if another raid comes in, there should be a couple more easy kills on those weakened villagers. But yeah, Corvinus going to camp out those Danzos. This will be a little bit harder to push into. More raids coming out. Team Devils doing the same thing they did in Game 1, which is just putting on, or in their first game of this tournament, rather, just putting on a lot of horse pressure to try to zone in Team TBD. But Corvinus and Erican have done a good job of getting some horses out just to try to slow this down a little bit and try to retain some map control. Especially securing these hunts with the scouts is going to be really useful. Looks like Erican has actually missed a hunt in the back there for that bounty. Let's actually see. We didn't check this in the previous games. 640 bounty in a 4v4, of course. You kind of expect that for team games. Especially a big team game map like this, but 645 is going to be quite good for Erican here. Stay Frosty, not really enough. There's not enough spears or knights here to defend all of this cavalry pressure coming from Team Devils right now. Here comes the Roos Knights, though. And we got some harassment on the trade that's coming up. We got scouts standing in the way, trying to kill villagers and burn those trade sites, those markets. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. We got more engagements here as well. Trying to cover all these engagements as we watch these awesome matches. Palings. Palings. Okay. Doesn't matter. Keshik's pull back instead. Jean gonna be chilling out. We've got that Castle Age that we mentioned out of Risky. It's gonna be a Burgrave again. This is the second Burgrave we've seen this tournament. Burgrave into Men-at-Arms. They've got their upgrade. And yeah, they're just massing up at the front. Castle Ages for Mombos and Zardes now as well, because they've been, the Team Devils has been able to put enough pressure on to give Mombos and Zardes time to age up. Between Jigglypuff and Housed Horses night raids, it's becoming possible. But as soon as they get that Castle Age, Team TBD says, that's our invitation in. So they're attacking now. Appreciating that invitation, keeping Team Devils off of the Sacred Site. And we've got armored units in Mongol's base, and Mongol never likes to see armored units in their base. Keshik's not going to be able to counter those maces. Mace is going to be nice for the Knights. Knights who normally would be a soft counter to this Men-at-Arms push, but against the HRE, not going to be so lucky as the maces come in with Knight and Longbow support. And the Longbows with the maces are just going to shred French Knights. The Royal Knight's not going to be able to do too much here. And more Keshik's going down as well, as Risky's micro splitting the Men-at-Arms has been really nice. We've got Erikin just kind of dancing around with the Knights, keeping the Longbows safe. Gonna lose some Men-at-Arms here, though, and Risky's gonna have to fall back to the rest of the Team TBD army here. Stay Frosty kind of falling back a little bit, doesn't want to keep the archers under the TC. More Men-at-Arms forcing Keshik back. Maybe you burn this to Men-at-Arms, but it's not enough. I think we need Rams. Here. Roos and France duking it out. Jean gonna pop a big, a heal? But it only goes on to Jean. I don't think that heal was in range of the Knights here. Roos Knights though, yeah, the Roos Knights struggling because Jean is just too strong. Even with the nerfs to feudal, Jean is a force to be reckoned with. Much more fair force to be reckoned with, I would say, than before. But my goodness, what a skirmish here on the side. And it looks here with the Castle Age Mombos that the Abbasid Dynasty's here, the Abbasid Caliphate is here with the crossbow speedy archer combo. Yeah, it's gonna be military wing, though we don't have composite bows. We do have boot camp, so these units gonna have a little bit of extra health, a bit tankier. And this fight continues on the sides. Joan, because of his continued night fight, has gotten the I say Castle Age, the tier 3 knight, and is going to spawn some Jean's riders. And we've got 4 Castle Ages out now in this game, 2 for each team. Let's go ahead and see what we can see in the back. Yeah, military wing and a King's Palace for Team Devils. And on the other side, TBD is going to have a Grand Fulani Corral. Corvinus being nice and greedy on the back with Molly here, and here come the sofa. They look like they've got their upgrades. Yeah, we've got the shield upgrade and the Castle Age sofa upgrade, the veterancy. This fight breaking out again as 4 Rams out for Stay Frosty here, and the Men-at-Arm longbow combo coming in once again. England seems to be a must in these team games, chat. I mean, like, that longbow mass in a team game, so key, because you don't need to make spears, those expensive spears that you make in a 1v1, but you might have some regrets here as Jigglypuff comes in with those knights and is gonna force Stay Frosty's longbows back, and there just isn't enough for Team TBD as this becomes a 4v2. Yellow, pink, purple, red. Yeah, that's 4. We got some knights actually out. I shouldn't have said 4v2. It was a little bit of a 4v3, but the knights for Erikin are going to have to go around and not engage directly with this. Risky has been just pumping out Men-at-Arms since minute 1 here, basically. No relics, though, coming out for... Oh, here they are now, actually. Prelates getting the relics. Where are they dropping these off? Probably in these nope, no towers. Where are we dropping these off? Risky, where are they going? Anyhow, we're seeing relics come in now. I wish we had the thing that said how many relics each team had. That would be nice. Just a little HUD thing. And there's pressure going on to the trade from Eric in here. But Team TBD doesn't have a lot of units right now. Here's that sofa for Corvinus. Corvinus, again, has been feeding his teammates this game, getting these pit mines up and just absolutely going crazy, not floating anything with all this gold coming in. I say not floating anything. I mean, this is nothing. So, banking gold now. Banking gold for Erican. This fight here, gonna force the Mongols back, but honestly, Mongol just kind of looking to interrupt the raids. And meanwhile, a big force from Abbasid in England, just a massive archer mass. And Wololo in the middle of Risky's base trying to keep this Jean raid out. A nice heal from Jean gonna keep this army going, and Danso's trying to save the day. And a little bit of men-at-arms and lance connects. The relic here just chilling. Dead prelate. Relics in the base of Risky, but no monasteries out just yet. And this push is going to take out the council hall in the front, though not a ton of fights just yet. Letting the Rams do their thing, because, like, what do these three do? We need maybe the Night Force, yeah, to distract or come in. But Erican is taking some damage in this game and just doesn't have as much as his teammates. Sitting in feudal, and Frosty, the English player, has gone up now. So we've got 6 Castle Ages, and as Jigglypuff also goes up there. Cancelled. What was that? Was that the Windguard? Was that the... Oh my gosh. It is the Windguard coming up for Zardis once again. Zardis used those Windguard Rangers in previous game and is going to bring them back out for this match as 2 more Rams are coming up for Mambos in the front. Mambos going for this super strong Abbasid Castle Age that we see so often from Abbasid. And I like that we've seen Abbasid twice in this tourney. Abbasid is still good in team games because it's easier to protect the boom. This is going to be a 2 TC boom because of that fast castle and the cheap upgrades. So preferring upgrades over age ups and things like that. I actually kind of like this for Abbasid on this map. It's an interesting choice, especially with all these English and HRE players out here. Big Mangonel hit as Double Mangonel comes out for Corvinus the Sofa. Team TBD trying to get something going here. Oh, but oh God. It's ruthless as a bunch of Bills go down from that Jean raid on the front of Stay Frosty's base, just trying to gather what food is left here instead of farm booming too much, but gonna have to rely on those farms for food now. Sitting on a fair amount though. Ah, yes. Water, very important all. Springald now coming up for Mambos to counter those Mangonels. Very nice. Again, another nice reason to have like Abbasid or Ayubid on your team. Get those forward siege units up, just to, if you have to counter Mangonels or anything crazy like that. Big cavalry fight opening up, trying to raid Stay Frosty's villas, and Stay Frosty has lost a lot of villagers, as Erican loses villagers here as well. Oh my gosh, no. Oh, it's a catastrophe. Stay Frosty losing a lot of villagers. Let's see the income per minute here as Team Devil's having a nice food and wood income, plus actually a fair amount of gold. A lot of gold for Team TBD, but not nearly as much food and wood. Those knights getting chased away by Erican's knights meanwhile. And in the middle, oh, more fights breaking out. Knights facing off against knights. And Mambo getting ready to fight this. I think that's too much for Mambo for now. Zardes goes Imperial. Wingard immediately pumps out the Wingard Rangers. So the Wingard Ranger mass is on the way. They get this they get Palings and Volley, I believe, just like the Longbowmen do. And we are taking a look-see at what's going to happen. Meanwhile, in the back, Corvinus going for some nice raids here against Mombos, kind of lower that Mombos' production here. Let's check out the military kills and deaths as well. Fairly, I want to say fairly even between the teams, but look at Jigglypuff with the raids coming through. Looks like Team TBD hasn't quite picked up the same kill count that we see from Team Devils this game. Though, I think we'll see Corvinus pick some up with the Sofa and the Mangonels in this upcoming fight here. And these Sofa raids gonna be really nice, a nice little counter to all of this pressure from Jigglypuff, which is coming in again. There's not a lot of units here, or walls for that matter. The only walls we really see are coming out from Zardes on the right side of the map. The rest of the map has delayed walls to make units, which is smart, but oh my gosh, like, the exposure to these kinds of night raids for that player who's been booming in the back can be rough. It can be really rough. And here comes the mass from TBD, looking like they want this to be their win here. Can they take it though? That's the question. There's a lot of Mongol and there's a lot of stuff. Mongol villagers on the run. They're just gonna abandon the front. Good call. We've got the Wingard Ranger Longbow Crossbow combo. So England and Abbasid fully dedicated to ranged units here. And the other two fully dedicated to knights. So what do you do as Team TBD to counter all this? I think you need Mangonels. I think you need a lot of spears. And that's exactly what we see. Oh my gosh. The new Mangonel with the weakened Springalds takes out 3 Springalds with a Mangonel shot. Oh, it's a catastrophe for Mambo. Says Mangonel. Corvin is getting a ton of kills with that big shot. What was I saying? We're gonna see a little bit of this even out, but things are still looking more in Devil's favor, I guess, in terms of the kill count. Only player losing a lot for Devils has been Mambos, and that's a big result of these Mangonel shots. A lot of crossbows still left though, and a lot of armor out for Team TBD. Sofa going down to this huge ranged mass. Mangonels picking up more kills. These Mangonels have been making a difference for our Molly player here. Oh no! I think he attack clicked. Those Mangonels targeted the School of Cavalry when he wanted, I was gonna say he wanted these Wingard Rangers here. What do you do now? Team Devils, how are you gonna respond to this? What is your counter? It looks like Jigglypuff is gonna have to fall back from these raids that have been so effective, and we actually have a tie in the kills between Jigglypuff and Corvinus. I like that. There's always that boom faction who gets a ton of kills in a team game. It's not always the best determiner of how well they're doing, but I think it's fun. Gotta get the spears in front, and he does. Risky's control of this like meat mass of HRE and then one in the game as Japan has been really helpful for Team TBD, but we have Springalds out that have been fairly successful against at least 2 of the Mangonels. And there goes another one. Where's the Springald? Oh, it's just buried in this archer mass. There we go. Springald's coming out for Zardes now, and Mambo's also Imperial, so we've got an Imperial Age Abbasid, and you have the upgrades on the Archer already, and the crossbow. And Imperial England, but Zardes has opted not to get the upgrade for the longbows and the crossbows, and instead opted for Wingard Rangers and Springalds. More Springolds on the way. And Team TBD loses the siege and loses a lot. Forced to fall back because Zardes and Mombos have just been putting to, I mean, this is a masterwork team defense. Use the buildings and the choke points with this big archer mass. Springolds to defend the main counter to this, which is mangonels. And at a certain point, this archer mass is so hard to counter. But let's check out the back of the bases. Roost Knights are gonna raid Mombos, and we have Zardes giving food to Housed Horse, which is gonna help Housed Horse with that pressure that's been put onto Mongols early on here. And look at all these villagers running around here. Mongols have been in trouble, and Arakan knows it and is really forcing Housed Horse to like figure it out, because now Housed Horse and Mombos are getting raided despite these nice masses on the front. But here does come an Imperial Age for the Jigglypuff as well. We have 3 Imperial Ages out and a lot of units going down for the opposite team. As Team Devils is Imperial Age, the Arbalatrie, the Arb emplacements, and a keep immediately going up to re-secure the main part of the base. Devils has done an incredible job of team defense in this tournament so far. Hey, for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm gonna engage the chat a bit here as what's up, Hyperkaku? I don't know if you saw your video, but it's on YouTube now, the first one. The second one should come up soon. But we're currently casting a teams tournament between some of the top teams players around. It's a fun one. It's the Grand Gorge-Off, created by Chili. Those of you listening on YouTube, go check out the Grand Gorge-Off, because this is the kind of content we get. We got Knights raiding on the back, but meanwhile, a counter push? This is a crazy match. These crossbows gonna try to clean up the Knights, and he's gonna have to use the choke points. Mombo's using the choke points. Beautiful defense. The Knights decide that's not worth it, as fire arrows, handguns, and crossbows can counter this pretty easily in the choke points of the houses. And my goodness, it has actually slightly died down here as Risky falls back from burning down a keep out here, but the Windguard Rangers gonna continue the pressure here. We got a fight coming for this gold that Team Devils is trying to secure. Yeah, Team Devils is gonna really want to secure this with the gold. And yeah, Zardes, Ender was yellow as Abbasid in a previous game. Zardes has come up and built some stone walls here on the right side, but on the other side, it's like Stay Frosty is trying to secure stone for Team TBD and the forward gold here. There might be another gold mine, yeah, up on the top here. Knights putting on some raids. We've got gold from Mombos to Housed Horse. As Housed Horse is rebuilding, and Housed Horse is certainly not dead. There are plenty of villagers still up here for the Mongols. And oh my gosh, this has been just an absolutely crazy game and crazy tournament. We keep having players absolutely destroyed by the fact that they're on the front on Gorge, and the team's got to figure it out. And this team, Team Devils here, has figured it out with the defense on this one. Look at this big ol' ranged mass for Mombos here. Crossbow, archer, even handgunners on the way. And that's going to be a lot of fire arrows. Meanwhile, though, we actually have an Elsbach with a relic in it for Risky. Risky opting for defensive structure to try to secure Team TBD's front. Roost Knights preventing a Keshik raid on the top side of Team TBD's base. But the Keshiks are going to slip away. Veteran Keshiks looking for some villagers here. We've got Imperial Ages coming out all over as Arakan goes Imperial, and that previous Jigglypuff Imperial, plus Risky on the front of Team TBD's base. Corvinus following suit, and I imagine, yeah, we've got Housed Horse following suit as well, and I can only imagine Stay Frosty is going to want to find an Imperial Age as well, as everyone's going Imperial, and we're going into what could be a long game. I say that, though, and There's less upgrades for Team TBD at this time. A lot of units for, well, at least for Mambos here, but maybe not a lot of units for his teammates. Although, I mean, France has been all over the place. Yeah, Stay Frosty, oh, going for a Berkshire on the Sacred Site on the left. Gonna get that gold out of Jigglypuff's hands. And I say Jigglypuff's, but namely Team Devil's hands. It was just in the red. And what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? A University going on the front for Risky. Risky gonna try to get those upgrades. Probably, I mean, Elite Army Tactics being the obvious one as it all immediately comes in. Trade getting raided by Zardes in the back of Team TBD's base. And we have Imperial across the board for these teams. Upgrades coming in for the Sofa, but I don't think this is enough Sofa for all these Windguard Rangers. They've got fire arrows already, and even with Corvinus's nice micro here, you see them doing that little horseman dance forward into the archers to get as many attacks as they can get in. A little bit of a, it's sort of like a move cancel, but it's not really like the same thing as move cancels used to be. And yeah, Zardes cleans up the Sofa, and Jigglypuff is just gonna go ahead and charge straight into that Berkshire on the left with his Knights, use Jean's Cannon and the Royal Knights to clean up the Berkshire and push into this English Mass? Do you fight this? Yeah, you fight this as he charges in, gets the area damage, gonna pop a heal probably as Jean as well. No, heal's already been popped for the Berkshire. But yeah, these are elite Royal Knights coming into a Castle Age England army. There's no upgrades yet for Stay Frosty. And things are not looking too good for Team TBD here, as we're losing units in the back, in the front. We're losing units everywhere, Team TBD. And Team Devils looking quite strong, as we've got units spread all over the base. Risky trying to control some of this. Corvin is trying to control it as well. There's a ton going on here. Yeah, Risky has come to fight Zardas's Windguard Rangers, but Zardas's micro has been on point with this Windguard army, and he's just been able to clear out a lot. Look at this, he's just gonna keep dancing. This has been Zardas's life for the last 7 minutes, maybe. And he's picking off these units quick with that fire arrow upgrade. And we've got more trades as Mambo's giving trade to, oh, that must be, it's actually unclear who is giving this to who, because it's Stay Frosty, but that's the other team giving resources. So teammates trading resources to each other. It looks like since Mambos has been in such a strong position, he's been able to feed Team Devils a lot of resources to make this a bit stronger for Team Devils, this push and this action. Men-at-Arms, oh my gosh, the English Men-at-Arms, they're gonna be those +5, oh yeah, no, I kind of saw this coming as Team TBD is gonna have to surrender. There's just too much pressure on both sides, and Team Devils is gonna take game 1 of the best of 3 in the finals of the Grand Gorge-Off. Chili's Grand Gorge-Off, and we're going to end the video here as game 1 has completed. There's a lot of fun action in this one. We could totally piece it apart. We'll talk a bit about it in the next video. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe, leave me a comment and say hi. For those of you on Twitch, I'm gonna take a little break and we'll come back for game 2.